Looking for a new playmat or some custom sleeves? You can support Magic Untapped in the process by clicking on the affiliate link for Inked Gaming in the description. The second set in Magic the Gathering's original Zendikar block, the 145-card Worldwake, released on February 5, 2010. The middle set of the block, the set continues, card-wise, where Zendikar left off, but not necessarily where it left off story-wise, as the entire story of Zendikar was in the one-off novel Zendikar in the Teeth of a Comb. If you are unfamiliar with the story, we recommend you check out our Magic the Gathering History Zendikar video. Don't worry, we'll wait.
There will now be a medium-sized intermission.
Yeah, we're not waiting, but please do check out that video when you have a chance. As for Worldwake, there's still quite a bit to tell about the set.
So the set was led by Ken Nagel, and on the team was Kelly Diggs, who used to be editor-in-chief of the website. Mark Globus, known from the first Great Designer Search, is the producer of Magic and a designer. Matt Place was a developer, development representative for the set, and myself. So the idea of the second set, to explain real clearly, is this was a small winter second set. Usually a set like that is there to be a continuation of a large set and do more. You want a few twists, you want a few new things, but a lot of what the small set is doing is being a continuation of a large set. So most of the themes in Worldwake were mostly evolution of stuff that Zendikar had done.
As could be expected, Worldwake continues the themes from its predecessor, Zendikar, such as Landfall, the vampire-specific Bloodied, as well as quests, traps, and allies. The set also introduced a variant on the kicker mechanic called Multi-Kicker, which lets you create multiple instances of the kicker enhancement. At least, as many as you can afford to pay. Such as the card Skitter of Lizards, coming in with a +1/+1 counter upon it each time you pay its multi-kicker cost when cast.
We actually had designed multi-kicker for Zendikar because we wanted to let you use your mana as efficiently as possible. So, what's even better than kicker? Multi-kicker. But when we were trying to give a definition of Worldwake, we realized that there was a lot going on in Zendikar, so we held it back. That's very, very common for us to do, which is the first set will design something and then realize they don't need it, and they will hold it for the second set.
Also, like its predecessor, the emphasis in Worldwake is lands, though not in the same way, as, thematically, the set is more focused on man lands, or lands that can become creatures, as well as cards that specialize in that sort of thing.
The one big new thing that we actually really didn't do in Zendikar, we saved for Worldwake, was making lands sort of come alive. So one of the things that this set was trying to show is the world was getting wilder. So we liked the idea of the animated land thing as a theme in this set.
Essentially, the theme here was when lands attack. As such, it features a cycle of allied colored man lands. White-blue Celestial Colonnade, blue-black Creeping Tar Pit, black-red Lava Claw Reaches, red-green Raging Ravine, and green-white Stirring Wildwoods, as well as one colorless land that can temporarily turn into a creature as well, Dread Sanctuary. Other cycles within the set include Landfall Instants, which are spells that care whether or not a land has entered play previously that turn. Common multi-kicker creatures, such as the previously mentioned Skitter of Lizards. Common spell lands, each of which come into play tapped, can tap for a single color of mana, and have an enter the battlefield triggered ability. Zendikons, which is a cycle of common land enchantments that turn their enchanted land into a creature. Allied Beneficiaries, which is a cycle of creatures that get a bonus ability if you control a specific type of allied basic land. And enemy-colored activated traps, which are trap cards that can be cast at a drastic discount if a spell of a specific enemy color is cast by an opponent, such as the card Ricochet Trap being able to be cast for just 1 red, rather than 3 in a red, should a blue spell be cast beforehand in that same turn. Worldwake also introduced a new Planeswalker card, Jace the Mind Sculptor. The card, which is Magic's first 4-ability Planeswalker, was once considered to be the most powerful Planeswalker ever printed. It was a key component in a number of standard modern, and legacy decks not just at the time, but for quite a long time afterwards as well. In fact, it was banned in Standard in June of 2011, in Modern in August, and in Extended that September. It wasn't until February of 2018 that the card was unbanned in Modern. As for Standard and Extended, well, the card fell out of Standard eligibility well before then, and Extended had been retired as a format in August of 2013, having been replaced by what is now Legacy.
Jace the Mind Sculptor. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Okay, so this card, in R&D we have a terminology that we use for cards like this. It is what we call Baroken. It was already meant to be a card that was pushed, but this card was definitely pushed a little more than we probably would modern day. It was pushed and we missed, so it ended up being a very strong card.
But Jace wasn't the only card from Worldwake to receive a hit from the banhammer. In fact, a total of 4 cards in the set were considered to be too powerful to be played. Stoneforge Mystic, which saw large tournament popularity in multiple formats thanks to it being not just an efficient way to seek out a specific equipment card from your deck, but also an easy way of getting equipment cards into play, was eventually banned in Standard, Extended, and Modern all in 2011. It was finally unbanned in August of 2019. It's a key card in Legacy Deaths and Taxes builds, as well as modern versions of that deck. Also, it's an auto-include in modern Stoneblade decks and modern Hammer Time decks.
Can't touch this.
Eye of Ugin, which was a card printed as a storyline foreshadowing of the Eldrazi breaking free in the next set, Rise of the Eldrazi. The card eventually saw play in Tron decks here and there, but really became a force when Magic the Gathering returned to the plane for the set Battle for Zendikar and Oath of the Gatewatch. The card was banned in Modern in April of 2016. It has yet to be unbanned.
You're just gonna have to wait.
Finally, the card Lodestone Golem, which is an artifact creature that taxes non-artifact spells. It received a restriction of only 1 per deck in Magic's Vintage format. For a moment, it became a turn 1 or turn 2 play that caused an early soft lock for non-artifact focused decks in the format. Of course, those 4 are not the only Worldwake cards worth a mention. There's also Abyssal Persecutor, a very undercosted creature with an interesting drawback. You cannot win the game and your opponent cannot lose it. Amulet of Vigor, which is a key component in the popular and powerful Amulet Titan deck in Modern. Basilisk Collar, an equipment that grants Death Touch and Lifelink to whatever creature has it equipped. It's often seen in Eldrazi Tron decks and, at the time, was a standard staple when paired with the next card on this list, Cunning Spark Mage, an unassuming creature that can hit pretty much anything on the board for 1 point of damage. Death's Shadow, a 13/13 for a single black mana, though with an interesting drawback. The card has inspired a number of modern decks based around it. Horizon Drake, a card that, interestingly enough, has protection from lands. Core Firewalker, a popular anti-red sideboard card. Tectonic Edge, a land destruction land. And Rexiel, the Risen Deep, which is a fun and punishing commander card in EDH. The set also had a number of promotional cards around its release. Pre-release participants were given a foil Comet Storm, and release day participants received a foil Jorga Warcaller. Both cards showcased the set's new multi-kicker mechanic. At the set's game day event, participants received a full art Hada Freeblade, while top 8 finishers also received a full art Calastria Highborn. Finally, those who bought an entire booster box of Worldwake received a Celestial Colonnade as a buy-a-box promo. And, tournament-wise, Worldwake was front and center at Pro Tour San Diego 2010, which was held just after the set's release that February. It started with 5 rounds of Standard followed by 3 rounds of Zendikar Worldwake Draft on the first day. Day 2 was done in reverse order, with another 3 rounds of Zendikar Worldwake Booster Draft with 5 rounds of Standard afterwards. In the end, German Simon Gortzen defeated Kyle Bogemans 3 games to 2 to take home $40,000 in prize money. Both players were on Junt, that's red, green, black decks, that ran a couple of Worldwake's Manlands, Lava Claw Reaches, and Raging Ravine.
That is it! Simon Gertzen is your Pro Tour San Diego champion for 2010, and it looks like he just won a round of Friday Night Magic.
So is Worldwake your preferred Magic the Gathering set? Let us know your thoughts about it in the comments section below. And please support Magic Untapped by liking this video and subscribing to the channel here on YouTube. Also, we have a tip jar on Patreon if you're feeling so generous. Thank you for watching.